Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the one of the other live streams that we're doing here for refactoring a Flutter application. If you're new here, the story is like this. For one of our projects in AWS Amplify, we have created an example application. The application was working, but it wasn't in the best position. What we did is we have refactored the app in a way that it uses block as a state management now. We try to make it more like following the separation of concerns and so on and so forth. Right now in these live streams, what we do is we actually try to make it nicer and make it more friendlier for the people who would like to see the code. And another reason of these live streams is that I would like to answer your questions as much as I can. Like, so whenever you have a question, just drop it to the comment section, or if you're watching it later on, just put it as a comment and I will do my best to answer it later on as well. And today we will drift away a bit out of the topic of the state management, and we will actually focus more on the UI changes because right now the app is quite ugly. So what I would like to do is to make it more friendly, more UI, like nicer UI with nicer UI. So if I share my screen right now, you can see that the version of the app that we have is like, let's run this one. It is not nice, it doesn't follow the usual ways of things that you would do. It does the trick, it does the work, but we want to make it better, right? So our job right now is to make the app look nicer. And how we are going to do that? First, we will talk about some material components, a website from the material design. Then we will check out the open source projects from the Figma community, and we will pick one of these that we find nice and actually use it in a way that like it makes our app better. So you can see that it shows the previous groceries. If you go to the detail of it, there's this file that we have uploaded as well. Same goes for like anything different too. You can see that we have a date, you can see that we have a title and everything, and we have an image as well. So what we can do is we can make it nicer. How we can make it nicer? We can follow a design. So first things first, let's go to a new window and go to material and e-color tool. So material has a new like theme builder tool that you can use. How you're going to use is we will just follow along whatever it like provides us to do. I'm just going to use the color that it provides. It looks nice on this app. It already has a schema, so I can just take it. When I want to export it, it also provides me a Flutter one. What you can do is you can decide on 4 different core color and actually make it nice as well. It is totally up to you. So what we can do is we can change this to, like completely different as well. It is totally up to you. And right now I want to keep it as it is because, just for the sake of time. And when it is ready, you can see that it has like main generated main.dart file that we are going to check out, and also color schemes file as well that is also generated. So what I would like to do is I want to copy this and put this into the utilities, and say add. It just like cries about some stuff, but if it's not working, we will just remove it. And next thing that I would like to do is I want to see how this file looks like. You can see that in this file, first it uses Material Tree. Material Tree is a new system that is designed by the material design team. And the second thing is it uses a completely different UI, but it's okay. What we are going to do is we just need to have these two lines, and we will add this to our main.dart file. And you can see that in here we have custom light, custom dark, but we don't need them. Let's paste whatever we have here, and we can even actually get rid of this. But after we get rid of this theme, we will just say delete anyway. After we get rid of this, now we are using the material design. Let's see what is the problem. What are the problems that we are facing here? So first things first, it says I'm looking for the theme. I don't care. The second thing is it is asking for us. Let me refresh it. Maybe it will show it nicer because right now it's not showing the errors that we have here. And even though okay, let's do turn off and turn on. The classic, because it seems like the errors from the data analysis is not shown off. So we need to see it, to be able to fix it or to be able to use the proper tools that are defined for us. And if it doesn't work, we always have VS Code that we can fall back to. Anyway, so right now it shows us these that we can just import. So this is fine. I will go back here. It says outline variant isn't defined. Scream isn't defined as well. I'm just going to ignore this. Probably they are part of the, you know what? Let's see it. Let's see it together. What we can do is we can actually change the Flutter version and check out if it is implemented in other parts of the Flutter version. So right now, if I do Flutter Doctor, you can see that I'm in the stable version. What I would like to do is check out maybe other channels if they are actually already, if they have already fixed it. So for this purpose, what I'm going to do is I will write Flutter channel and just see which channels that are available for me. There's beta and master. So from top to the bottom, as you go bottom, you get more stable. So stable is more stable than beta, and beta is more stable than master. However, master has the latest changes. So all the impeller stuff that you heard of, for example, they're part of master actually. So what I would like to do is I will just say first Flutter channel master. And in the meantime, it is switching. It is also going to update so we can see how it looks like or how it feels like in the application. Because my guess is, I hope that I am, after we do this, we need to do Flutter upgrade to get the latest changes. My guess is after we do that, probably these are back. So if this isn't working, probably we need to file a bug about this one. Okay, so today's, in the meantime that it uploads Flutter, I want to talk about Figma. Figma is a tool that we use for designing components and use it for, like anything that we find design related. And Figma has a community part. So if you go to the Figma community, you have resources that you can use. There are icons, there are inspirations, there are like templates that you can use. And according to the license that it has, you can pick the one that is suitable for you. And actually, by giving the right amount of, like appreciation to the people, if it's like licensed by like for free, but they want some acknowledgement from you, you can put it to your project, or you can actually buy one of these templates that people actually sell over here. So how do we continue? I'm going to write shopping cart because this is what we do. We are doing a shopping cart. It says there's Figma and FigJam. I will put Figma. Figma is the design system that we have. FigJam is a place that people actually can come around and play around on an idea together, like jam on something. It comes from that idea. Okay, these are mainly mobile oriented, but this looks nice. This looks nice. We are going to pick one and just arrange it according to what we have. This looks nice as well. And this looks actually like this as well. So we can combine these two ideas. And let me go a bit down, down, down. These are too, like flashy for me. I don't like these that much. And you know what? I will just keep these three. So like there's this one. There's this one as well, which also looks really nice. And there's this one as well. So I think I can pull this off in like in the actual site. So in the actual, app. So what I can do is I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this as well. So I want to have this UI, and I want this UI to, list the items that I have. In addition to this, I want this UI to be part of my like item edition thing. So we will take care of it as well. And when it is smaller, it will just collapse according to the, like page you're in. All right. So the important point is, by the way, we need to be always mindful about the UI sizes and so on and so forth. So I like this one. This is nice. This also uses Creative Commons as the license. And the important point of Creative Commons is that it is free as long as you give attribution, give proper credit. And if you make any changes, you also mentioned that as well. So we will put this person's name and the Figma later on to the YouTube description as well. So actually this person gets the credit that they actually deserve. So I will get a copy. I will actually also like this as well, because more you appreciate others' work, actually they feel better. So I would rather keep it that way. You can also see that it uses another font than what we have. So we want to change it as well. Okay, it seems like we have Dart 3.0, which is nice. We have Flutter 3.7. And when everything is go back, you can see that outline variant and the screen is working fine. All right, so everything is nice. Everything is not nice or nice. Let's give it a second to run the data analysis for a second. In the meantime, I will get some tea. Normally I was getting some water around this time, but tea is nice. Tea is nicer now. Okay, so this is not a constant. Okay, there are so many things going wrong right now about this one. So by the way, if you have any questions or any comments, just drop it to the chat. I'm always like checking out the chat. So first, let's check this one. This says it is not const. So if I make this final, why the brightness is not working? Okay, I would like to restart the data analysis tool just to be sure. If it's not working, I will just move to beta. If it doesn't work as well, I will just remove whatever I have. Yeah, okay, things seems to be working. Sometimes you need a tiny bit of refresh. Let's get rid of all the warnings that we have. Okay, and you can see that you shouldn't put print because prints can leak some data. You can just remove these. This is always a nice cleanup, so we can start off our project with a nice free approach. All right. Okay. So right now we have everything that we need. We have created all. So let's start the project. Let's start again. Let's see how it looks like. So I'm restarting the application now. It is downloading the Flutter macOS tools. And by the way, Material 3 is quite fresh, quite new for the Flutter community or overall all the development. They have recently become stable for Android, and I don't know, right now they're still working on the Material 3. If we will see if they're going to be stable soon or not. So what we do right now is that we actually try to use the components that they already worked on, and if they didn't, then we will see it in action when they look old and ugly, I would say. The code generation is really important. I found it a bit irritating to see these two where I was not working on the stable and it is generating the item for this. So that's why I would, just try to avoid it. But, let's see. It is running everything. It is running pod install. So since we changed the version, it is going to take a bit more time. So bear with me for a second. But when it's done, it will be great. Okay, we have the warning from the secure storage, but it's all good. Warnings are fine. We can live with those. We need a couple of more seconds. Okay, so while it is waiting for it, like while we are waiting for it, I want to also talk to you about this part. So like the colors and everything is going to change, and I'm going to show you a new thing, a new way of doing an application. By the way, you can see that the button is looking different. This dialog is hideous right now. And if I go to the previous items, it also looks different, but still it's nice. But this one is also looking nicer, like you have these stuff going on. You can just log in with the same username and like this already feels nicer, but we will do more stuff. First things first, we will go back to pub.dev, all right? And I'm going to introduce you to a new package called Google Fonts. Google Fonts is a companion app that provides you enough resources to have fonts that you can find from Google Fonts. These like some of them are like everything is licensed here, so you can check out the license, and according to your like decision, you can actually pick the one that makes sense to you. And most importantly, they look really nice, and you don't need to deal with all the extra stuff like changing one by one or defining all around for each, like italic, bold, and so on and so forth. It will come to you like out of the box. So we have many stuff that we can use. And so there's like Meriwether, like the Ubuntu one, the Railway one. I really like the Railway one. It it feels really nice. So what we can do is we are going to copy this, go back to our project. We will close this one because each time that we add something to our project, we need to get the Google Fonts. Sorry, each time when we add something new, something like new library to the project, we need to close the project, do Flutter pub get to download the libraries, and rerun the application. So how to use it is like when you have it, you can either define it in the text as a style, or you can define it all around by adding the text theme as well. So what I'm going to do now is, like you can see that we have the team data here. So we need to add the Google Fonts slash the team name as well. Also, you can define it according to whatever you have, but like I don't mind at this moment. Okay. So there's some settings for the web. We will take care of it later on. But first things first, let's go back to main. In the main.dart, we have team data and everything. And I'm going to come here and say text theme and say Google Fonts dot railway text theme. So this is like one thing. The other thing is the same as well. What they did here is actually like making sense in our case. What we need to do is we can come here and say final base team, okay, and say team data, say use material 3 true, and say the text theme is Google Fonts that railway text theme, okay. And what we can do is we will say base theme dot copy with and get rid of these. So this way we don't need to repeat ourselves a couple of times. So I'm here as well, and I will just copy the dark color schema, and yeah, this should do the trick. So if I restart my application right now, you can hopefully see that the font is going to change a lot. Okay, so the font is looking nice, but we have this weird background. I don't know. It looks ugly. Why it is looking like that? This part is looking nice and looking white. Previously, it didn't look that way. So maybe it was about the copying. So I'm not going to do that anymore. So what I'm going to do is I will just add the text theme as railway, restart it again. Yeah, okay, it looks nice. So you can see that we have this one, and so we have really nice, like text here. And what we are going to do is we are going to make it more like friendly for us. So normally what we can do is we can use the dark theme colors over this. Let's check in the railway text theme. It doesn't show it. Hold on. So it should follow the colors that we have like it does with icons and so on. Right now it looks quite ugly. So it should actually follow what we have. So we need to define the color scheme for this. I will try something and say text scheme here. And so let's restart it. Okay, nothing has changed. So this shouldn't be this way. Okay, so here, before we have given the text theme, it was working as we expected. So what we need to do is we need to understand why it is not following the colors. So just a second. Okay, see, this is like according to the brightness, then we decide, all right, so we will follow along the like functions and everything that it is giving us. So I'm here. This is going to say like build theme. Build theme is going to have this like material tree true. Why it's not showing here? Okay, and we have sent this, so we can copy this railway text theme, and we can get rid of this. And what we're going to say is exactly like we mentioned. We have the light color and dark color. Okay, we will also pass down the color scheme as well because we need to, like use the color scheme that is provided to us. And I will just say color scheme. All right, I'm going to fix this function a bit because we need to use the parameters properly here. So I'm going to say that build theme is like for the brightness, we will use brightness dot light slash light color scheme. Same goes to this. We will use dark and not dark actually, and dark color scheme. Okay, let's restart the application now. Okay, now it has the nice color that we can see. You can see that everything that we have is showing the proper colors. So what we can do is first, the brightness is the option that is called brightness here. So I'm going to say that this is brightness, and the color scheme is actually the color scheme this way. So we can actually move around and understand what's going on around here. All right. So one thing that I would like to do now is to change some stuff around here. So you can see that it shows the date a bit weird. The the title of it is also weird. Also, we have an image that we can use, right? Like we can actually get this information and like show this here, then pass down that information and without the like circle progress indicator, you can have it. All right. And last thing is we have like details of these stuff as well. Like whatever we have bought, we can see the items as well. So we need to add them too. And also, I would like to get rid of this thing. I would like to go to the next page whenever I call this and actually use a proper uh, page. And if I decide not to, I can go back as well. All right. So let's continue. So what we need to do is we need to go to the add grocery item view. So this is the add grocery item view. And if I click on this one, you can see that add grocery item view is called, where was here? You can see that they're called in actual, like either bottom sheet or in the dialog. I don't want this. I want this to be shown in a new page. So what I will do is I will just, by the way, first thing that I would like to do right now is I want to commit this so I'm not going to lose anything at this point. And like if I break something, I want to be able to go back to a place that I can. So I would just say, where was it? Actually, you know what I'm going to do that I forgot to do is like, you know what, never mind. Let's do and say add qubit as a state management system. All right. We will just commit this, not push it, because I will push everything when I feel like, like it is ready to be shared publicly. The repository is already out there. So in case you want to start off, you can go back to the previous videos and go back to the amplified grocery list a project and check out whatever we have done so far. Anyway, let's go back here. What I'm going to do now is I will just copy this. I will just, so we have this is mobile thingy, but like, again, we are not going to be using those. I will just see everything smaller and I will get rid of this. So what I would like to do is I would like to create new navigation way. So what I would like to do is I can say navigator off context and say push. It will be a material page route, and this page route will have a context, and this is going to actually return this stuff. So let's restart the application. Click on an item, and you can see that we actually have this nice UI right now that is not nice enough. Anyway, so what I would like to do is I would like to add a new app bar here and so on to like make it actually nicer. So I will go back, and they have this like, so we have this form and everything. So what I would like to do is I would like to wrap this with a scaffold, okay? And scaffold will be in body, and this body will have an app bar, and this app bar will actually have grocery information. So what I'm going to do is I will just say title text and say add new grocery item. Okay, this is going to be a const, so I'm not going to like add a new style or something to this. So I'm back here, and you can see that I have this nice back button. It is not aligned, but probably it's a material trees mistake, not us. And we have new item selections and so on and so forth. So I can just say that add a new item. What we can add, for example, T. And right now we are adding color count only. So I added a T. I can see it. You can see that it showed a huge circle progress indicator. I don't want that. What I would like to do is if it's loading, I want this to be, like disabled and just show a nice circular progress indicator. And this is also clickable, but it doesn't do anything. So we need to also define a behavior to this as well. All right. So going back, you can see that we have these nice stuff. So in here, what I would like to have is I would like to call something called this is loading. Okay. And actually, is loading is a property that probably we can send out to by using our form button if we have the form button. Do we have a form button? Did I add it? No, it's not here. It's okay, we don't have that helper button here. So what I would like to do is right now we have this elevated button and this only has a text. And first thing that I would like to do is if it is, say, there should be an enabled case. And if you want to disable an button, what you need to do is you need to define it as null. So when it is null, it is actually going to say that, okay, I'm not going to do anything as a button now. The second thing that I would like to do is instead of having a like text here, I would like to add if widget is loading, I would like to add a circular progress indicator to indicate that I'm actually doing something. So it is a const thingy. So if I try to do a const, it will say that this calculation is not possible. So I will just keep the consts around here. All right. So wherever I'm calling this, this is the place. So what I will do is I will get rid of this and I will say that if it is loading, then the case is like it is loading. It is in the loading state. All right. So we have done something different. So let's restart the application. When we restart the application, you can see that it shows this nice circular progress indicator, and this indicator has a button. So you can see that this add item is weird. We will fix it now. What I would like to do is I will add a new item called like sugar and say 5. And you can see that it has shown me a circle progress indicator within the within the button. So it's nice. So what I will do is I will get rid of the problems that I have. First things first. Main axis size is by default it's maximum. This means that the place that it has enough space, it's going to be filled by the row. The second thing is also like the main axis side alignment is like as default, it is actually at the start, but we want this to like be in the center. And lastly, there isn't anything between these. So I'm going to add a size box with width for to give a space between these two. Okay, so let's restart it. I am running this now. I have the new item here. I will add like what would I add? I will add rise and say 5 again. So you can see that it had shown this circle progress indicator as well for a moment, but you can see that it also had a weird like padding at the end because these two should be together as part of this loading. How we can do this? In the last like live stream, we talked about a spread operator. Spread operator is helpful for us to add a list of items inside the list. So once you add 3 dots and put a collection under like afterwards, it will add this as part of the list that it's in by like following the rule that you decide or just add it directly. So if I restart it, you can see that the add item button now looks way better. And if I would like to add, I don't know, like I will add beef and I will again pick 5. Then we added something new. However, you might realize that when the loading indicator is actually shown, it looks quite ugly. if you want to see this, let's go down and comment this out, restart it. You can see that it is actually like super ugly right now. And more importantly, we are, let me go back. We are like not able to fit everything into the button. So what I would like to do is I would like to first make this a bit separated. I will put 16. The second thing that I would like to do is I want to change the size of this. But how can I change this? How am I able to do it? There are a couple of ways. Either I'm going to adapt my button to follow this along, or I'm going to put this into size box and actually, like say height is 8. It is 8. Actually, what we can do is there's one called square. So what we can do is we can add a new value for this, which is called dimension. So each dimension will get this value, and I will just call this 12. So if I do this, it is smaller now. Let's make it 16. So you can see that it looks a bit nicer. And if I do this now, it is way better. So if I bring back the loading state and you know what? I think what we can do is we can add this here. All right, so let's restart the application. And if I click on add item, the item can be added by saying, for example, Cheetos, okay, and say 8. So you can see that the item looks nice, and like it looks actually really cool because it doesn't get up all of a sudden. It shows the item that we have, and more importantly, it is like not enabled at all. So it is a win for us at the moment. So this looks already nicer than it was before with this approach. The second thing that I would like to do is I would like to change this item. I would like to actually change this page. It looks quite ugly. It shows this page, it shows this UI huge, the amount spent and the items are like quite bad. So what I would like to do is I would like to do some playing around with this and, for example, put the title to be part of this, call this details, and show the items that I actually bought earlier on. Okay. So for that purpose, I need to go to my previous cursor details page. Okay, so one thing to remember here is that why do we have amplify Flutter here? Okay, because of this, I'm not going to do that. I will just get rid of this and say this is the way. So like, why would I put this into a property if I'm not like going to use it at all? So like, first thing first, we already defined that like for being purely UI oriented, we need to actually get rid of everything on the UI about the amplifier stuff. So it is done. The second thing that we are going to do is first we will make this image, this invoice view as small as possible, and we will play around with the UI a bit to make it nicer. So I need to drink something. All right. So we also have these grocery items here. I don't know why it's not showing. I'm really curious why it's not showing. So I would like to actually print the grocery item to see why it's not showing. So I will just go back to my, where's this run? Yeah, perfect. And if I go to here and here, it has the file key updated at, but it doesn't show grocery items. So restart, it says it's null. So we need to fix that as well to be able to show the items, because if you have the grocery, we need to have the items as well. So we have the item here that is coming from previous groceries, that is coming from groceries. Okay, I remember. So for the items that has an internal reference, we need to make another call to get the item. So we will take care of it in a second. All right. Okay, so let's go back to the detail page that we have here. All right. Actually, this is the detail page. Let me get rid of everything else, close other tabs. Okay, so first I will get rid of this and say grocery details here so people would know what's going on. The second thing that I'm going to do is I will just get rid of this. Then I will get rid of this because it will work when we have the grocery items. And let's do add reset, so add reload. And like first thing that I would like to do is I want to add a row. This row will have some children like text stating that this is the item title. Okay, and this item title will have a style of theme dot of context text theme, and I would like to have a display small. Perfect. So display small is actually, like making our live stream item bigger and nicer. One thing that I would like to be sure of is that it doesn't seem like it is using the font. Let's be sure that it is using the font. Yeah, it is using the font. I want to be sure that we are using the font because I don't want to, like miss our opportunity to uh, have this nice font working with us. And what I would like to do is I would like to like have the title like this DC live stream. Then I want to have the amount spent with the date, but different as different UIs. So I will actually get rid of the row because I don't think we will need it, but not like this. So first things first, I will just copy all of these. All right. And put a comma here and get rid of the list view here. And all right, this is like looking nicer. And I will first call this a column. Okay. And I will put this column into a row and this column into an expanded. So we have the expanded here. So this way we are actually like filling out all the available space that we have as a column item. However, we need to have, in my vision, we need to have the UI as well. So we have the invoice view here. This invoice view is actually a block builder, which is really nice. It is using an image to be shown, but it is not, like as big as I want it to be. So what I would like to do is I would like to wrap this with a widget called, again, size box, and say that the square of it, dimension of it, will be 40, okay? So if I restart it, you can see that this 40 is looking here and so on. This is like something nice. I will just put it to 200. And as I move it up, you can see that it is like working somehow fine. We will take care of it, how it looks like now. So, okay, this is here, which is quite ugly. So I'm going back here and saying that, okay, what I need to do, like first thing that I need to do is actually, so when you think about it, the main axis of the row is horizontal and the cross axis is the vertical. So what I would like to do is I want to change the cross axis alignment to start so everything goes up. Second thing is you can see that this is also centered. So So what I would like to do is I want this cross-axis alignment also to be start. So right now it is like right, uh, right next to the item. The next thing that I would like to do is I want to get rid of this padding that these two has. And I would like to add this padding around the column that we have. You might be asking, why did not we add this to the expanded? Because expanded needs to be used inside row or column directly as a first degree child. Okay, so after we have it, you can see that we have the like spend amount, the date, and everything. We will like play around with that. So first thing is, I don't care where it is saved. So I mean, who cares? The second thing is the total amount spent. The total amount spent should actually get an attention of the people. So what I would like to do is, I would like to, yes, dollar sign, yes. Okay, perfect. So what I did right now is that I use an escape character to say that this is not an indicator of an item of a string. This is a dollar sign as a text. And this one is going to show the amount. So first thing is, if I do this, a hot reload, you can see that it's showing 44. So let's do a theme dot of context text theme. We will say that the label large, how big it is. Not big at all. What about body large? Body large is nice. Body large is looking nice. I will just put this as spent as well, so it shows this. And lastly, we will add a new text. This text is going to show the date as well. This date is going to show the style. Okay. This is like, let's format this, or like, let's put it to string. And I will add this. And let's restart it. You can see that it is showing this. I'm going to say that this is why caption is removed. What should we use instead? Use body small instead. So I will just say body small. Okay, body small is not faded enough for me. So I will just check out what other types of stuff that I have. Maybe label small would be nice as well. So label small. Label small is okay. Let's keep it like this. And one thing that you can realize is that DC Livestream has this kind of extra, how to say, like extra character on the left. So we don't we don't care about it right now. One thing that we need to be careful about though is that this item here actually, if I do not show anything at all in this section, it is actually what I need to show here. So this should be my previous, like this thing that I see here should be my item. So what I would do is, until I get these items back, I will move this grocery details page to a new UI, and or even like rename this in a way that we use this inside here, because this looks like freaking ugly. So let's do that in the meantime. And we have like 10 minutes left in the like remaining time. I'm sure we can do this. So first thing that I would like to do is, I will say that previous grocery item. So first we rename this. The second thing is we will rename the other stuff as well. We will say previous grocery, not details, but it is actually items. We will refactor this, so do not worry about it. Same goes to rename details, actually item state, perfect. And lastly, this qubit will be called previous grocery item, item qubit. All right, so we can do refactoring by saying do refactoring. It's all right. It will shout it at our face. It's okay. So we will just get rid of this. And when it asks for more errors like this, hey, it's not fair, it's not working, it's all right. So we will just, when this is called, we will not do anything at all from this moment. So we will just comment this out. And in here we have this like qubit and so on that we can just pull in. And you can see that this grocery is actually like shouting to our face. Probably the other grocery item will be shouting to our face as well. So first I will fix the item. When the item is fixed, then I will come back and show you a way to get rid of this as well. So let's go back to my previous grocery items. Okay, reset the 13, maybe make this a bit bigger, like 23 is fine. So you can see that it is still called like previous grocery details. I would like to call this as previous grocery item, and that's all, not the page, but the item. All right, so you can see that it's not used because, yeah, it's not used. Everything's fine. And let me restart this in the meantime, and let's go back to here. So we need to go to the previous grocery list here. And in the page, you can see that we are using list tiles to show our items. However, I don't want to. I would like to just return previous grocery item here. Previous grocery item will ask us to add an item here. And how else? Yeah, okay, this is a named parameter. So let's restart this. Let's see how it looks like. I don't even need to do, like a hard restart, but let's see. So, okay, right now we are like having a big problem. Obviously, if you go, you can see that it is going to give us a huge random box overflow exception saying that, hey, like this is too big. You're in a list view. Just be mindful about the space, which is a logical thing to ask for. The reason is coming from the fact that the columns are actually making themselves as big as possible. So if I make this the size smaller, go back and click on this, it is still giving us an error. That is also fine. So we have the row, we have the column here with like minimum size. And if I go back here, we have the item here. Okay, let's think about it. So this is like one of the most common errors that you can have with Flutter. So when we fix this, you will see that you will fix it everywhere actually. So you can see that like we have the scaffold. We don't need to have the scaffold anymore because this is not our job. So I will just say like, for example, widget here, okay, and this is going to, okay, I will call this child, and this is a trick. So if you have a child with any random widget, it will actually automatically remove. So you can see that we have nice items here. You can see that I have my beautiful picture from Vegas here. We have the other items as well. So you can see that like they're constantly getting called, but we don't want this. We want to, like use a library that can cache the items. So let's go back to the pub.dev and say image cache. And you can see that cached network image. It's a library that shows images from the internet and keep them in the cache directory. This means that as long as it is available, it is going to show like whatever needs to be shown directly. And even more beautifully, when it's loaded, it will also show the circle progress indicator as well. So let's go back to this. So when we click, it doesn't have, like nothing is happening like we thought it would. So let's go to the invoice view. In the invoice view, let's lower the dimension to 100 maybe. And now things are looking nicer. Okay. Sounds good, right? Like sounds like it is looking already better than it was before. However, in the example kind of thing that we have, it looks even better. It has these nice like corners, it has like literally everything. So let's try to, like follow this along. Let's try to see what we can do to make it look like this. So we have an image with like corners, and we have a card, I would say, with corners as well. So let's try to achieve that. First thing is, we will actually wrap this with a card, like just to see how it feels like. So you can see that there's a color difference, but it is still not good enough because the items are highly like, involved with each other. So what I would like to do is I would like to add a padding between items like this, so you can feel the corners of the items that are already added. However, again, we are missing the corners around this stuff, like around, for example, around this to make it nicer. And also, when this image is here, I want it to, like just feel itself as much as it can. And then I have this like nice square all the time. So what I need to do then, first things first, I go back again. What I will do is I will say that in the image, what I will do, I will say box fit dot contain. Let's restart. Restart. It didn't happen. Let's do a hot reload. Okay. Okay, it didn't do anything. So let's film. That's quite ugly. Let's do cover. Was that cover? Yes, this was the thing that I was looking for actually, not the contain, but the cover. The cover is the center crop equivalent of what we have on the on the like Android side. So okay, so this nice, but like you can still see that this part is still like not the best one that we can have. What I would like to do is I would like to add some corners to this. So if I go to this one, you can see that actually we have a new thing. We can even have a center slice. So what I would like to do is I would like to add some corners around this. So for this purpose, what I will do is called box decoration. And box decoration, no, decorated box. And decorated box is getting a box decoration that, or like any kind of decoration that you would like to use. And by using this box decoration, you can have border radius, and you can define radius around what's that border radius dot all radius dot circular, and say that this is 8. Okay, let's see how it looks like now. It didn't do anything. Let's restart it. Let's do this. So nothing has changed. So apparently we couldn't make it work. So let's, maybe I don't know it by heart. So let's go back and check and say image as rounded corner. And obviously Flutter. So we will ask to our beautiful friend here in, there's the clip rect. I'm not so sure about it. There's circle avatar. I don't want this as well. There's also with box decoration as well. I don't know why didn't it work with the box. Okay, we need to make this part of the box decoration, then it will work, because it seems like this is staying behind the image right now. So what I would like to do is I will actually add again decorated box like I've been told, change this into, what was it called? The image. in the box decoration. So I would just say decoration, box decoration, call this image. Image will be this one. And we will call this decoration image. Okay. And image will ask for an asset, not the image itself. We will call this fit as a like cover again. And more importantly, I will have what I talked about earlier on. I will just say border radius dot circular should be 16. Let's see how it looks like. Yes, you can see that we have the circular corners happening as well for the things that we have done. So one thing that I would like to do though is that I want to give a padding so it is like more squished and more close to the item. So I will just go back and say invoice view. This invoice view will have this padding. One thing that I want to say is that use the tools for your needs. Make the tools work for you. You shouldn't work for the tools, okay? So that is why, like, as much as I can, I try to use these like shortcuts and so on so I can move forward faster. Okay, so you can see that I have images that I have uploaded earlier on, but still when I do this, it is still like reloading. So how and what way we are going to do this? So I am going to close this. I am going to add the cached network image. This one, copy this one. This is a library that is quite like widely used by the community. We're a bit over time, but I would like to keep it going as much as I can. So we have the item. Why did I call this items? So let me refactor this to call it item, not items. All right, it says get dependencies. I will get it. And I will get it one more time. If it doesn't accept it, I will just ignore this for now. And in the invoice view, when I'm here, you can see that I have the decoration image and so on. So when I use the cached network image, probably I'm going to be needing to like use the actually no, because it has an image builder exactly like we have here, so we can use the box decoration. So what I'm going to do is I will actually copy this and turn this into return. And what I'm going to say, I'm just going to bring back this. I am going to get the file URL and put it right here. And most importantly, I will just copy this part with the decoration box and just paste this here and call this a decorated box, not the container. I don't want to bloat my like image. And most importantly, if there's an error, we will just show an error as well. Okay, instead of the comma, we will put a colon. And yeah, like one thing that I missed, no, nothing is missed. So let's restart it. Let's restart the app and see how it looks like. You might be remembering, why did I restart it? Because I added a new library. And when I add a new library, I need to do a pub that like pub get, and it will download the libraries. And when the libraries are downloaded, we are going to be using it from scratch. Okay, let's wait a couple of seconds while it is gathering everything for us. So we have the new item. We have this. Okay, it showed the big like circle progress indicator. We can get rid of it. However, why is it still reloading? It is reloading probably because it has loaded this item, but when it's called, it's not getting it from the network, but it is actually using the cached version of it. So what we need to do is we need to make the circular progress indicator smaller or not used at all. So if it is using, okay, we can get rid of this. This is one thing. And I will just call this, if it is success, or if it is loading or initial. No, it's too much work. It's too much work right now. I want to keep this as it is. I just want to play around with the loading indicator. I just want to understand why it is loading this again after we have done it. See, like when there's an arrow, by the way, you can see that, okay, this is another problem. This shows that this actually calls it again because, you know, like every time that I do this, it is calling it again. I don't want this to call this again. So this is interesting. Okay, let's keep this as it is right now because, you know, this already looks nicer than it was before. So what I would like to do in the next show is that I would like to actually add like more, like change this items and how it looked like. And lastly, I want to add a count and the price. So when I add the shopping, also, by the way, I want to change this as well. This end shopping looks ugly too. Let's change the end shopping finalized grocery view as well. So when I am here, I will just go and say that, okay, you can see that it is calling this finalized grocery view for me. And this finalized grocery view is like super ugly. So we need to get rid of is mobile call that is happening somehow, somewhere. Let's see. Okay, in the current grocery list, we are still showing it. I will take care of it. But first, let me get rid of this. I don't need this at all. So I can get rid of this. Next thing is, let's go back here. In the elevated button here, I would like to get this. And I would like to just delete everything here. What I will do is, I will just say that navigator.off.context.push material page route like we did before. And this material page route will be returning this. Okay, so we have this that is working for us. I just restarted it. So when I click on shopping, it will take us to here. So I will just go back here, play around with finalized grocery view because I want it to look nicer. So I'm here. I will change this into a scaffold, and the scaffold should have a body here and app bar, and app bar should tell that title should tell finalize grocery. And this is a const. We will take care of this. And let's do this. When I click, it shows this. It is nice. When I click on finance grocery, it shows the errors and so on. You can see that we have these nice animations. And if I end this, I will say kitchen supplies. Okay. And total amount is 300. And from the finalized grocery part, I would like to do is, where's the download? I'm just trying to find a nice, okay, I will pick this one. This is one of the nice DALL-E pictures I have generated. You can see that it is uploaded. However, the previous error that we have is still consistent. When it is done, it is still showing what we have. So you can see that kitchen supplies is shown up here. Okay, so what we have left for tomorrow. First, we need to fix this why the state change is not shown. This is actually fixed. We can dispose this finalized grocery thingy thanks to the change that we did. Actually, let me even dispose it. Finalized grocery view is here. We have this. Where is this one? We can get rid of this actually and say that close. Let's see. Let's restart. We need to add a new item and state the item as, I don't know, like screen. And we need two items. When we add a new item, it shows it, let's say, like the item is called computer supplies 134. And let's go to one of the generated ones from DALI. This, I use this stuff like in my like in the stuff that I use for my blog posts and so on. And when I restart it, you can see that they're gone. But at the same time, this is still a bit problematic. Probably we need to use this inside this one so we can fix this as well. What we need to do is, like we already start off with the UI revamp. So we need to change the current grocery list view as well. And we need to add a new item to add a price here. So add a field to add a price. And lastly, we will do responsive UI tomorrow. So these are the 5 things that we will do tomorrow. It's all for today. I'm really happy that you joined. Today was really UI heavy. I'm sure you loved it. If you didn't love it, let me know. If you liked it, also let me know. Like you can leave it as a comment later on to the YouTube as well. And just like follow along, follow me over Twitter, follow me over LinkedIn. If you're not using any of them, you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel or follow over Twitch so you can see the news when I start a new live stream. Okay. So thank you again for joining me on a nice Thursday evening, and I hope you enjoyed it. So